And we are back. United Renters for Justice is an organization dedicated to pursuing permanently affordable democratic housing and driving vital structural changes within the housing sector. Committed to the principles of community, justice, transformation, and solidarity, the organization represents a collaborative force of Minneapolis tenants uniting against the adverse effects of the housing system. Joining me now to share their point of view on the matter, I'm joined by the organizer at United Renters for Justice, Shanika Henderson. And Shanika, glad to have you.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. And so, a little bit about the work that you do. Obviously, advocacy is a huge component of it. But give us a little bit of an idea as to how things are out there.
Well, things are going great. We've won a lot of wins for the tenants. I am also a tenant for the people that we are fighting against as well, called Progress, also known as previously Havenbrook Homes. I have been a renter from them for about 10 years now, and I am fully committed into the fight. I connect well with the people, and when they hear that I am also a renter and I'm working to fight against them, that gives them a strength out of this world. So I've been doing this for about 2 years now, and I'm fully committed.
What are we seeing by way of unresponsible landlords, and I should say unresponsible and unresponsive?
It makes you feel dehuman. The human. It makes you feel like you're not human. They treat you as if it's just all about the money, and we know it's about the money. But at the end of the day, everybody wants to be able to live in a dignified way, and they have a way of making you feel like that's not what they want. Um, and so the fight has it's been a huge struggle with even making people feel like they deserve the right to be able to speak up for themselves. People get so wrapped up in, hey, I just want to have a roof over my head, so I don't feel like I need to speak up for my family. And what my job is to do is to let them know, hey, don't be afraid to even speak up. I'm speaking up and I want to speak up for you, but I need for you to speak up and join the fight together. So it's been um it's been challenging, that's for sure.
Yeah. And when we talk about this, really getting to the heart of the matter, you got issues as far as it could be heat, it could be just maintenance. And what's it like? Give us an inside look as to what it's like trying to get a hold of a landlord, or is it the second part, getting a hold of them and still them not responding, kicking the can down the road, if you will?
Oh, it's all of those factors. It's getting a hold of them, and once you actually get a hold of them, I talked to a tenant a couple of days ago that actually was having electrical problems, and we know that you need to send a certified electrician to come out there and assess your home so that he can know what exactly is pinpointing the problem. And they are sending people just like somebody out of your backyard to do these fixes when they do. Um, and also, people are dealing with mold, leaky basements, and also cold homes in the wintertime. And it gets really cold here in Minnesota. And people are dealing with no heat, refrigerator outages. And this company has really been putting us on the back burner when it comes to some of these tenants that have not spoke up during the campaign. And it's crazy because people that do speak up, they answer their calls like within seconds. So they kind of know who is fighting for themselves and who isn't, and they're using that as like leverage. And it's very heartbreaking because at the end of the day, this is a $1 billion company that we're dealing with. So they're not losing any money by coming out and doing repairs. And some of these repairs are like detrimental to the family. They have kids. These are all single family homes, 2 to 3 bedrooms, 4, 5, 6 bedrooms. So these are children that need their refrigerator, heating, lights. And some people are scared to even sleep in the night. with some of the repairs that they are ignoring.
Yeah. Talk to me about response from community because as you have you have these landlords and they're absentee. You have landlords who are not responsive, and then you have landlords who are unresponsible. You also have the community who's actually dealing with this. You have constituents who are really living this day to day. And as you say, being afraid is one of the things that, and also frustrated. To get people to the table to say, listen, I want to speak up about my rights as a tenant. We know that sometimes there's a lot of fear that's there too, because some people don't want to speak up because, fear of being put out or fear of reprisal. But for you, you've also had a good job in terms of bringing people together. But can you give me a little bit about that component, your ability to bring people together, but also the reality that there's so many people out there that aren't taking advantage of an organization such as yours because they just don't want to get involved. I don't want to rock the boat, even though their boat is sinking.
Yeah, yeah. I door knock a lot. I will door knock, and as I'm door knocking, if someone opens that door, I present them with, hey, I'm working with United Renters for Justice. I want to see how things have been going since you have been renting from Progress. I am also a renter. And when I do tell them that, they're like, what? And I let them know I'm not working with your landlord. I'm working against your landlord. And I tell them my story, and I let them know, look, we have about three other people on your same block that are renting from this company. And if you, is there anything that you would like to tell me? I open it, I'll sit on the porch with them for as long as it takes for them to find some comfort. And again, I always go back to what my family and myself has to endure within these 9 years of being a renter. And I just recently got a home. I let them know, look, we're fighting to be able to speak up for you. We want no retaliation. So once you join our organization, we want to ensure these people that once you tell your story, you don't have to worry about them targeting you and coming back to say, hey, now that you're working with United Renters for Justice, we're going to put you out. And I just try to empower the people because it's a lot of people of color that are renting from this organization, and I feel like they're targeting us because at a point in time they didn't want to even accept Section 8 vouchers from a lot of the tenants that had those subsidies to be able to provide for families. And once we started organizing like hardcore in the streets, we were able to uh, get the attention from Progress where they even moved about 70 to 80 tenants and gave them newly renovated homes because they knew that we meant business. We started calling 311, which is a city resource that files a city complaint, and that goes documented. Like if someone calls 3 to 4 times and let them know, look, my basement is flooding, my windows are broken, my heat isn't working, my refrigerator has been out for about 5 to 6 days. This goes documented so that they don't have that feedback of you got to move.
Right.
So it gives them a sense of stability to let them know, speak up for yourself. And like I tell my story, research my name. I'm going undercover, uncover, and we need to speak up.
Well, I want to take a look behind you because as I see a sign behind you, I know that it's in Spanish, and I
Yeah.
know that there's a lot of Spanish-speaking people right there in Minneapolis. But we also know that the language barrier can be huge in terms of
Yeah.
receiving services, and also immigration issues that also make people feel as though I don't want to get involved, and sometimes have to live in less than humane conditions. Um, how's it been going in terms of reaching the brown community, as I tend to call it, because they're the ones also that are adversely affected. You got black and brown.
Oh, the brown community, they are incredible. Um, they stand strong. They stand together. I have even gotten my 12-year-old daughter to be able to speak Spanish. She's been speaking Spanish since she was 5 years old. She's very fluent. And I wanted her to be able to fight in solidarity with us, come together with the brown community because they are so powerful. And when they get out of here, they mean business. It is a language barrier, but we have interpretation, people that can come and speak that and be able to break those language barriers for us, and it goes pretty well. I kind of am glad that I'm able to work with them every day because they give me power. I thought that the black community was solid, but they are really solid, and when we all both come together, oh, it gets pretty deep.
Yeah. How's it been dealing with residential landlords, corporate landlords? Um, Give me some insight. Is it a little bit tougher on the corporate side than the residential?
Oh yeah, corporate is definitely a bigger fish to fry because they're not here on the grounds where we are. We have to hire researchers to do some research to see where's the big fish in the ocean. So, and with them being across the city, the state, we have to seek them out. And once we do, and we let people sign petitions, we've had a great outcome with that. We did hundreds of phone calls to the office, flooded their emails. Also did some protest in front of people's homes and expose them to Fox 9, which is our local news station here. We've done just videos where people have came from New York and just various different cities that wanted to expose these companies because of the work that we do. And it's been a blessing. It's been a
Yeah.
blessing.
Yeah. So, for someone who wants to get connected and really be a part of the struggle, how do they do that?
They can reach us. We have a Facebook, also with United Renters for Justice information. They can look us up on the internet. They can just reach out to us in United Renters for Justice. We have a North Side location, which is North Minneapolis, which is right in the heart of the city. I'm over South Minneapolis in the George Floyd Square right now. Um, that's our main location, and they can just reach out. We
Yeah.
we have information out there.
When we talk about tenants, I know that the tenant landscape has changed dramatically down through the years in terms of population, demographics, the whole 9 yards. We here in New York, of course, have to deal with NYCHA, and I know you're very well familiar with all the work that's going on here at NYCHA and holding them accountable. Are you optimistic? Because when we talk about NYCHA, it's an uphill battle for a lot of community-based organizations here to say, to take on NYCHA to get effective change and not just get a soundbite or a mini settlement, but really a huge thing that's going to create some traction and action. It takes a lot. But talk to me about yourself and out there in Minneapolis. How's it going for you in cracking that? Because it's a huge lift.
It is a very huge lift. But what I can tell you is, I'm so glad. I always heard when I was growing up, oh, you got a loud mouth, you talk too much. And I said, well, at this point in my life, I'm doing something actually to move the people and stay connected to my community. And that means exposing everything that I can about this company and letting people know, people that look like me, you have a strong part of your body. And that's your mouth and your words, and being able to use that and to be able to tell the truth. Everything I've said about this company and expose them and stuck with the people and told the people, we have research that can back that up. And also photos. I tell people to take photos. So staying in the loop with that and being in the connection with the people is my way. And I'm gonna always stay optimistic when it comes to fighting these corporate crooks, is what I like to call them, when it comes to housing, because we all need housing. I don't care what's the color of your skin, what you're dealing with. housing is pretty much the sanctuary of your whole life. So we need it, and I'm gonna continue to expose.
Yeah. Um, what are some of the greatest things that you're seeing out there? Is it the infestation? Is it mold? Is it what? Bring us closer to home.
A lot of the things that we are facing with the complaints from the tenants and myself in the past was mold, because Minneapolis, we have basements. And so in the wintertime, when that spring comes and that snow begins to melt, these homes are flooded with their basements, from the outside in, from that snow melting. Um, Lack of heating is a really, really big thing. Someone homes may get hot, stay hot on the bottom level, and they don't have any heat on the second level. And so their families have to sleep in the front room. They have to also have stoves to provide extra heating, which is dangerous, very fire hazardous. And also a lot of infestations from cracks from those basements being flooded in the springtime. So I am seeing broken out windows, people's homes that have been shot, and they will not come out and repair those windows. So the families have to live with gun violence being a part of their eyesight every day, and having progress not coming to fix these homes. So they're being faced with just, man, a lot of issues, structural issues where people homes are shifting. I've been at somebody's house where they set a penny on the ground and it actually rolled out towards the streets because their houses were starting to shift and the whole foundation was cracking. And they actually had to deal with that for about a year, and their kids couldn't even be in the homes for about a year and a half. So it's been some devastating things that I've seen.
Talk to me about how we can get connected. For the people out there who are watching right now, saying, "Listen, we want to unite with Minneapolis on some issues that are, their housing issues." We know that you partnered with New York City in the NYCHA. What can people be joining in on to really support and bolster your efforts out there?
Man, contact us again, United Renters for Justice, Minneapolis, and we reach out to a lot of people just as we tell them how we've been door knocking, because this is a different ball game. We're door knocking houses versus complexes, buildings. So we reach out to the tenants and we want to see who is able to stand tall with us, who wants to walk and actually join the fight, like hitting these houses, telling their stories. And again, we feel like telling our stories firsthand is what keeps us all united with each other, joining the fight, um, and also just keeping it truthful. So if they want to reach out to us in any type of way, United Renters for Justice, we are here. We also support any organizations that are fighting against corporate or residential landlords, because we've done a lot of things working with our Keith Ellison, who has been supporting us. He's coming with a lot of heat. Our Attorney General's office. He's has one of the biggest lawsuits in their kind against this company. So it's, yeah, we're to be not to be reckoned with.
No, I know. Well, listen, you say the name Keith Ellison, everybody knows he is a person that is definitely not having it. If you're familiar with George Floyd, Keith Ellison, but it's just more than just the George Floyd case. Really,
Yeah.
a stand-up guy in terms of really speaking as an advocate for the people, particularly in the area of housing and housing injustice. So definitely there. Shanika, thank you so much for being with us. Got to leave it there, but thank you.
All right. Thank you. Have a blessed day.
All righty. Shanika Henderson, tenant at United Renters for Justice. Take a quick break. Final segment right after this.